If you've spent any time online lately, you've probably noticed something. Everyone seems to have an opinion about health. Eat 6 meals a day. No, wait, eat two. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, skip breakfast. Wait, count calories. Actually, no, don't count calories. Just eat low fat. Actually, even better, eat low carb, or you could just go vegan, or eat carnivore. Aren't we all animals? Or, yeah, let's lift weights or walk more or run. Or, no, actually, running is bad on your knees. So don't run fast or only run fast or don't go fast. Maybe if you sprint or don't, just right? If you have spent even a few minutes online, you've probably heard all of it. Honestly, I understand why so many people feel overwhelmed because health has become so noisy. Every week, there's another miracle, another warning, another headline, another expert, another study, another person promising they're finally discovered the secret to health is that one thing that, no. Today, I don't want to add more noise. I want to slow down. I want us to become curious again, not about the newest trend, but about something much older, something much deeper, something that existed long before social media, long before podcasts and nutrition labels, and long before scientists had words like insulin or metabolism or mitochondria or autophagy. I want to become curious about the remarkable design of the human body because I don't think the biggest question is should I fast? I think the better question is why does the human body respond to fasting at all? That question changed my whole mindset. Before we go any further, I want to introduce you to someone who's probably going to become a familiar face around here. It's Bel-Air. He is our family's new little Maltese puppy. It's an anniversary gift from my husband. He's 11 weeks old. And if you've watched any of my recent videos, you've probably already seen him. Sometimes he's asleep on my lap. Sometimes he's trying to chew on stuff on the desktop. But sometimes he decides that this documentary would be much better if we stopped filming and just had to play instead. I'll be honest. I thought about keeping him out of the videos. It would certainly make recording easier, but then something happened. And the more I watched him, the more I realized that he belongs here. Not because he's cute, although he is, right? You have to agree. But he belongs here because every single day he quietly is reminded me of something that I think a lot of us have forgotten. He lives according to rhythms. When he's tired, he sleeps. Really sleeps. He's not scrolling. He's not checking notifications. He's not trying to squeeze one more thing into the day. He just rests. And when he's hungry, he does eat. And when he's full, he stops. And when he wants to play, he plays with everything, as you can see. And then he'll rest again. Watching him has been strangely humbling because somewhere along the way, many of us have stopped living that way. We've become disconnected from rhythms that used to shape our everyday life, and we stay awake long after the sun goes down. We eat when we're bored and we snack just because food is there. We rush, we worry, we multitask, and we rarely are just completely present. Bel-Air, he doesn't know what intermittent fasting is, and he doesn't know what insulin is, and he has no idea what metabolism means. And yet, he's constantly responding to the design built into him. So that made me wonder, what if the human body was designed to live by rhythms too? Not rigid rules, rhythms. And that question became the beginning of this documentary. Some of you may know my story already. Others are new here. More than 20 years ago, I sat in a neurologist's office looking at images of my own brain, an MRI, white spots, lesions, evidence that my immune system had begun attacking my own nervous system. And I remember hearing words no young adult expects to hear. You have multiple sclerosis. And I remember wondering, would I end up in a wheelchair? Would I be raising my children? Would I someday lose my independence? And those questions stayed with me long after that appointment ended. Maybe you've asked different questions. Maybe yours weren't specifically about multiple sclerosis. Maybe they were about diabetes or heart disease or some other autoimmune illness. Maybe hormones or extreme fatigue or chronic pain. Or maybe you've simply looked in the mirror and quietly wondered what happened. And if you've ever asked that question, I want you to know something. You're exactly who I made this documentary for. Because over the last 2 decades, I've spent thousands of hours asking questions, reading scientific papers, and listening to physicians, and listening to researchers, and trying things that worked and trying things that didn't, making mistakes, and then changing my mind and learning some humility. Somewhere along that journey, I stopped asking, how do I beat my body? I started asking, what has my body been trying to tell me all along? That single question changed everything. And here's something I wish someone had told me 20 years ago. The body is always listening. Every meal, it listens. Every night, it listens. Every stressful conversation or every calming sunrise, it's listening. Everything tells the body a story, and the body doesn't argue, it doesn't judge, it just simply listens and then it responds. Food is information, movement is information, stress is information, light, darkness, sleep, relationships, they're all information. Even our thoughts influence our bodies through the hormones and stress responses and behavior that it impacts. So, fasting, of course, fasting is information too. Now, that doesn't mean that fasting heals everything. It just means that fasting starts a conversation and the body hears it and then begins making decisions, millions of them every second. That realization completely changed the way I think about health because I stopped seeing my body as something that was broken or malfunctioning, and I began seeing it as remarkably intelligent. It's not perfect and it's definitely not invincible, but it's astonishingly intelligent. Can I ask you something? Like, what kind of world do you think the human body was designed to live in? Take a moment, picture it. Was it a world of fluorescent lights, drive-through windows, midnight snacks, email notifications, and energy drinks, and streaming television until 1 o'clock in the morning? No. Constant sitting and constant stress and constant food? Of course not. Please hear me carefully. I'm not suggesting that modern life is bad. I love modern medicine. I'm incredibly grateful for the benefits that it brings to us, antibiotics and clean water and technology, the ability to sit here with a camera and have this conversation with you. I'm grateful. But gratitude doesn't stop us from asking honest questions. Could it be that our technology has changed much faster than our biology? Our ancestors lived in rhythms they didn't create. Morning came and they woke up, and darkness came and they slept. Food came in seasons, and movement wasn't exercise, it was simply life. Periods without food weren't a health strategy, they were simply normal. And today, many of us wake up to an alarm, we reach for our phones, and we drink some sweet coffee before sunlight ever even touches our eyes. And then we sit for hours. We eat while we drive, and we eat while we work, and we stay up late, wake up tired, and repeat. The body isn't judging us, it's adapting. It always adapts. The question is, to what? Because the body responds to the environment that it experiences. It's not the environment we wish we had. The body responds to information, not intentions. So that may be one of the most important ideas in this entire documentary video. The body responds to information. And when enough information changes, the body changes too. That realization brings us to one of the most remarkable truths about the human body. Your body is constantly making decisions, not dozens, not hundreds, millions of them. every second without asking your permission, without waiting for your attention, without ever taking a day off, which raises a fascinating question. How does the body decide what to do next? And the answer begins with something I want you to picture. Imagine your body not as a machine. Imagine it's an entire nation, a thriving nation with roads, power plants, hospitals, construction crews, communication networks, and millions upon millions of citizens. And every one of them has a job. Every one of them depends on energy. So every morning, the leader of that nation must decide where today's resources will go. Should more workers repair the roads? Should more resources be sent to the hospitals or be building homes? Or should supplies be stored for the future? Should emergency crews be deployed or held back? And there are always more needs than resources. Let's be realistic. So the goal isn't to do everything. The goal is to make the wisest decision with what's available, and your body does exactly that. Health is not simply about having energy. It's also about how wisely the body allocates that energy. And that, my friend, changes everything. So let's keep that in mind as we discuss fasting and as we continue to explore this topic. I want you to consider, when you have a constant influx of resources coming in, coming in, coming in, it can be difficult for the body to allocate those resources, especially if there's some backup, if there's some construction jams, things like extreme constipation, or simply the body's inability to cleanse and detox can create problems and create issues. Fasting is one way that we can clear the road for a bit to allow some toxins and some waste to be dispelled and processed by the body. And when you allow the digestive system to truly rest for a period of time, the body can change its focus. It can allocate or reallocate its resources to healing. And that, at the end of the day, is so important. We all need it because we've all been beat up on the inside, and it would do us all some good to have a little bit of healing. Honestly, we probably all need a lot of it. So, if you're considering fasting, keep considering, keep watching this channel. We're going to keep diving into fasting and the benefits and the pros and some of the cons and the considerations we need to make. I'm really excited you're here. And this little guy is too, our little prince of Bel-Air, because he's so cute, will be joining us again and again, I'm sure. You know how puppies go. But again, thanks for joining me, and I'm excited you're here. Please subscribe and like and watch the next one. I'll see you there.